Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Dell PowerStore webinar. My name is Nathan Cook. I'm here to be your moderator today, and I'm going to introduce to you our Dell resources here to talk about the cool technology with the Dell PowerStore. A little bit about myself. As said, my name is Nathan Cook. I'm an enterprise sales director here at Vista IT. I've worked here since 2006, definitely not that old to be able to do that, but somehow it's happened, right? I started in account generation and now I've kind of had a chance to grow my career here. Married with 2 kids, and we all love Star Wars. You can see from the picture. That's my wife, Andrea / Ray, and then Oliver and Asher, the Porg. So also just crazy. I enjoy guitars. I play in my church band. And, I've been playing since junior high. So a little bit about me. Now I want to give you a little bit about Vista too. I don't want to make this a long presentation, but I know some of you guys that are on here, this is your first time being introduced to who Vista is. So I just want to make sure we get a chance to tell you a little bit of our story and why we're excited to partner with Dell on this webinar. So we've been in business since 1986, over 36 years at this point. We are a Dell Gold partner, and we specialize in really the full gamut of Dell's portfolio, servers, storage, client devices. And we also have a lot of highly tenured employees here with a lot of industry experience. So, when you're working with someone with Vista, you're working with either someone that has a lot of experience, or they're working with someone who has had a lot of experience in the industry. And what that means is that we can help give you a solution that's tailored to what your needs are, instead of just kind of shoving the cookie cutter approach down your throat of what, it's the newest, latest, and greatest thing that you necessarily may not need. We want to really help find the best solution for the customer. So hopefully that was a minute or less. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn you over to our speaker for this morning or afternoon, depending on where you're living. So Stephen, I'm going to have you take it away here, and you can kind of introduce yourself. And thanks for being on here.
Oh, you're welcome. And hello, everyone. I'm Stephen Mulvey. I live in Scottsdale, Arizona. So no matter where you are, it's hotter here. I'm a big motorsports fan. I drove for 3 factory teams in 24-hour races when I was younger. And I've been in technology, actually in storage originally from the late 70s. So I've been around forever and a day. I've done many roles, including channel sales director, world tech support, et cetera, and you can read all that. I joined Dell Technologies, originally EMC, then I had a global job at EMC, a global job at VMware, and a global job here. Here I am. Sorry about that. And I've been around the block a bit. Ingram is my only customer, and I am the sole technical resource for Ingram in North and Latin America at the moment. I used to do the whole world. So let's get going. I think I'm not sure how much of an understanding everybody has of PowerStore, but I will assume not too much. And for some reason, I cannot advance the screen. There it goes. So we could say PowerStore is designed for the data era. This is not a server with a bunch of storage in it. This is a purpose-designed appliance that is essentially general purpose storage, in that it'll do file or block or virtual volumes, VMware type volumes, hypervisor volumes. So you can store all of those, and it's quite well expanded. It's a new product about 2 years ago. It's the fastest growing product we've ever had, and it's used to be that we were all focused on the data, and then along came infrastructure and operations, and you can see the frustration there. So the idea behind this product, when there were purpose-built arrays, which EMC was famous for, we were acquired by Dell. The whole purpose of them was that they would be used for specific cases. This is general purpose in that you can use this for a HIPAA compliance, or counting, or email, or online transactions type businesses. But today, things have changed in that now, in addition to the data things, we need to worry about the infrastructure, because the infrastructure's changed, right? We've all got a back door to a cloud typically. And automation is really important, and simplicity. It used to be that we had, purposely hired storage admins, server admins, all these people. And it's not that difficult to automate these taxes or tasks, I should say. I got something else in my mind. Automate the tasks in order to, make a simple flow for enterprise storage that's essentially fairly straightforward management. The good thing about PowerStore is that it's in an arena with really, really large companies. Yes, it's focused on small, medium business, but also very large businesses use this. So the user base is really, really, really good at IT. I mean, I'm talking about the 5 major banks in the United States use PowerStore. Many people are using it, many universities. So as a small business person, let's say, you get into a smaller and less complicated array like this, and the user base is so big that any bug that might come up, they know the answer to. Any kind of challenge you might have in operations, they've already been through. So what do we call about this? It'll do any workload, as I said. It's general purpose storage. It's data centered. In other words, we look at the data and we say, my data is important to me. This data that I use all the time, for example, let's say emails from this week, those are going to sit in the front of this thing, like in tier 0, right at the front. As those age, we move them to the back. It's really, really easily optimized. It does it by itself, okay? And it's efficient. It's always got data reduction. This will do 4-to-1 data reduction. Certain things don't reduce, mind you. Video, audio files, you can't shrink those, but you can shrink everything else. So let's say, for example, I send a picture of myself to all of you. Well, all of you are going to want to save it. And if you're all working in the same place, you're going to take that picture and all of you are going to put it onto storage somewhere. Well, this storage is smart enough to say there's so many pictures of this guy, all you really need is a pointer. You don't need the picture. And that's the way basically we do data reduction. As the machine is used more and more, eventually that data reduction gets larger and larger because it sees the same files over and over again and does pointers. These are the types of workloads that we're talking about. As I said, relational databases, medical records, content repositories, home directories, the things that you're running your business on. And it'll do cloud native. It can point right at the cloud. It's a main, by the way, component of our cloud, which is called Apex. PowerStore is what's sitting behind that. So it'll do fiber channel and iSCSI, NVMe, okay, and NFS. NFS being file, block, and NVMe over fiber, which is now the fastest thing. You may or may not know about NVMe. NVMe, traditional pathing is in iSCSI has 2 paths. NVMe has 16. You can tell right away that when you have 16 paths to something, you speed it up. So essentially, it's the future. Even if you're not using it now, it's good to buy something. Nobody's going to go buy an old 1080i TV anymore. You're buying 8K just because there's sooner or later going to be content. So this is a good thing. This is a good place to go. As we say, apps and databases, containers, which is running Kubernetes is the controller for that, and then file, which is Windows-based stuff. It'll do all of that all in the same RAID group. So optimized for performance, yes, it is. The latest PowerStore, we continually upgrade this. Level 3 is where we are now, and every time we release it, we have more features, more functionality. All of that is included with a maintenance subscription. So when we go from 2.0 to 3.0, it's a simple download. Very easy to do, all GUI driven, like Windows point-click stuff. 2.0 update gave us more performance, 3.0 even more than that. So it's a scale up and scale out. If you think of scale up, think of a freight train pulling cars. You keep adding cars until the train can't climb the hill. However, scale out is like a subway where there's an electric motor at both ends of every car. So even though, let's say, a New York subway has 10 cars and it's full of people, it goes just as fast as a single car because the load is shared. And I'm going to show you how that works. Scale up, just like a train, there's 2 controllers and then there's all this storage behind it. But scale out lets us go across the path this way. And in this way, this node here is connected to this node here. So if he's busy getting storage and he's busy getting storage, this guy over here can go over there and get it. The performance increases as you scale out. It causes you to have better throughput. The bigger it gets, the faster it goes. Okay, it's pretty good stuff, I must say. So NVMe over Fabric, you got a PowerStore NVMe appliance, you got an Ethernet switch, and you got a host with Ethernet ports. This is literally the fastest way to go with storage today. Over iSCSI, you can do it over iSCSI. By the way, fiber does not have an IP address, so it's extremely secure. iSCSI does have an IP address and requires all the firewalls and the usual things. And use your current, you can use your existing network. You don't really need to upgrade your network to run over it. If you have an iSCSI network, it'll just run. It's supported with VMware 7.0. And then Smart Fabric storage services. Okay, this allows us to drive enhancements to the network with software and not with constant zone switch zoning and things like this. We don't do that anymore. Now everything is software controlled. I'm just looking at the clock here. Sorry about that. So over Fabric with Fiber Channel, as I said, an FC switch, a Fiber Channel does not have an IP address, Fiber Channel. However, we can convert that and run it as SCSI to a Fiber Channel HBA over here. It's going to run in small computer system interface. The host has a Fiber Channel HBA, and the PowerStore is a Fiber Channel appliance. Seriously, the quickest and most secure way to do storage. It has about twice the throughput of iSCSI, but if you're using iSCSI, this works beautifully with that as well. So let's move along here. Always on data reduction. As I said, you're going to get 4-to-1 data reduction, and the way that works is the longer you run the box, the more orange bubbles it finds, right? You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 orange bubbles in this presentation. It's only going to store 1. There are 4 blue bubbles. It's only going to store 1. There are 4 red bubbles. It's only going to store 1. The others are considered to be redundant as they are already stored. So we don't continually store the same thing. We don't fill the storage up. You can get up to 20-to-1 in certain cases, but we guarantee you 4-to-1 with no questions asked. With the exception of, as I said, video, audio, non-compressible things like HIPAA-compliant X-rays. You can't compress those. They have to be original. So moving along, it's in a mid-range package. You've got an active-active data path. Many of our competitors don't have active-active, and it's active-passive is fine. We used to do that. But the thing with active-active is they're both running. They've got a mirror of what each other are doing. And when one fails, you literally continue on. When you want to do an upgrade, you have active-active. You stop one, you update it, and this one's still going. And then bang, you turn them over the other way. He gets updated, and then they go back online together. Just better throughput, just generally. It's got 4 nines availability, which I believe is about 15 seconds a year of downtime, if that. They're very resilient. Everything is mirrored. There are 2 power supplies, 2 controllers, 2 this, 2 that. You have native replication, local protection, and Dell EMC data protection. So an autonomous appliance, what does that mean? It means that as I go ahead and add new resources, it discovers them automatically. You don't have to say, oh, by the way, I've added 16 drives, 25 drives, whatever. It has a machine learning engine, and he's moving data around to make it the most efficient. As you can see, as I was speaking of before, when we're moving things to the front and back, that's what just happened there. And every time I add something, it does that, and then it says, you know what, this is a more efficient place to put this. If there's a data set, for example, that I'm constantly hitting, and there are 2 on this particular module, I'm going to move 1 to another module that's not as busy. It causes it to be far more efficient for throughput, far more efficient for day-to-day usage. We have system memory. This is the fastest thing for persistent storage. SCM is super, super quick, and we can use that as well. You can combine SCM and flash in the same chassis. By the way, I forgot to mention, this is an all-flash array. There are no spinning disks. We have other arrays that do a hybrid, but this does not. It is 100% flash. And some people think flash, well, that's kind of new technology. It's not. Toshiba invented flash drives in 1981. So it's over 40 years old, and it's proven technology. How do we look at what's going on? Well, we have a thing called Cloud IQ, and Cloud IQ does, as it says, predictive analysis and for storage. And what you're looking at, all of our front ends look like this. There's red, yellow, green. You can see here. Red means there's something that needs immediate attention. Something's wrong. Yellow might say, in 3 weeks, this disk is going to be full. You'll need more storage for this, for this group. And green is everything's running fine. You can do this on a tablet or a telephone. It's all like Windows-based architecture, so it'll run wherever you want. And so people working from home can actually run their systems from home. So why pick PowerStore? Well, it's all flash. It's unified block and file, so we can do both block and file. In other words, Unix, Linux, and Windows in the same group. It scales up, it scales out, etc. Unless you need hybrid flash, then it's Unity. Unity is a similar place in the marketplace. This is it's a terrific box. It's been around for quite a while, about 4 or 5 years, a little bit more. It is hybrid, so you can get spinning disk if that's a requirement. And some government things have spinning disk requirements. So we have both of these. And if you're doing PowerStore, this is 80%. It's a general purpose array, right? Unless you get something really, really big. And then you move into PowerMax, which is the next thing up, which used to be in EMC, the Symmetrics, then the VMax, now it's PowerMax. Super fast, 192 front end ports, terrific box, but probably not, it's not an SMB box. Unity, XT, hybrid. PowerVault, I think everybody knows about PowerVault. It's ME4, ME5 now. PowerScale is our unified solution for large files. This will scale up to 251 nodes, all with a single namespace. We are the only ones that do that. No one else does that. So if you have really big data, for example, you got a customer or you are a customer that has a lot of security cameras, you're covering airports or whatever, this thing will hold an unbelievable amount of data. It's also HIPAA compliant. Many medical places are using PowerScale for x-rays and such things. It's more or less in the same ballpark price with PowerStore. And then ECS, which is Elastic Cloud Storage. This is a little bit more complicated, and it's using Kubernetes and Tanzu, so it's running the containerized storage lookalike, for running things. This is the PowerStore family. You can see there are many models, the 500. This is a super good place to start. It can be integrated into the others in a scale out look. And these are the other guys. Big cores, big power, but you can start at a 500. The 1200 is the latest. This is level 3. And you can see that there's a lot of storage. I mean, 4.71 petabytes effective. When we're talking about effective, we're talking about, the 4-to-1 storage compression. And that's basically what it's about. So, okay, next. This is what it looks like to run the thing. This is the demo, but the software is identical. I just put a couple of slides in here. You can see red, orange, yellow, watching. So red, what's going on? You just click on that. There's a critical alert. There is 0. There's one major, and it tells you what's going on. There's only a single, there was only a single switch on this one. It'll keep lighting that up. But when you might, for example, want to look a little bit closer into a disk, this disk is 17.8% used. Here's a graph of where it's projected to go. And then the last one shows you how to create a volume. It's really, really simple. You put a name on the volume. You can put a description of what it is. You say how many, which volume group do you want to put it with? You select one, it'll show you them all. You want a protection policy. I want to do snaps at whatever time. And what performance do I want? And below this is how big do you want the volume to be? It's literally one click and it goes and does it itself. You don't really have to get involved in that. This is the portfolio that Nate was referring to. It's pretty big. I am responsible for Ingram for everything below this line here. This is PCs and screens and television sets. This is the storage. PowerStore is sitting here, and we have all of these devices. So, once you get into the Dell world, we have something to fit everybody. Some of these things are purpose made for super fast high I/O. Some of these things are made for super large files. And some of them are just general purpose storage. Here's your Unity XT and PowerStore. And these are, really robust products, but they are designed on a philosophy with the other things, these huge boxes like Power Max. And Power Max is run by all 1,000 of the Fortune 1,000 run a Power Max. They all are our customers. So, we have networking gear, we have everything. We basically can do the whole data center. And there are competitors that we have that can do that. And they're, valid competitors, and they make good stuff. So that being said, thanks very much. I think I'm a little under time, but that's probably not heartbreaking, is it, Nathan?
No, I'm impressed. It's not often we do one of these and we're under time. So thank you for that information, Stephen. It was really good.